These are called Resin Identification Codes, or ICs, the numbered symbols hidden on every plastic bottle in your home. And what they actually mean might shock you. Those little numbers, 1 through 7 inside triangles, that you thought meant recyclable, they don't. That recycling symbol you've trusted your entire life has been misleading you for decades, and the plastic industry designed it that way. Let me show you what's really happening with the greatest deception in manufacturing history. Right now, grab any plastic bottle from your kitchen, look at the bottom, and you'll see a triangle with a number inside it, probably surrounded by those familiar chasing arrows that scream, "Recycle me." But here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. That symbol was never designed to tell you whether something is recyclable. It was created by the plastic industry to identify what type of plastic resin was used to make that container under the ASTM D7611 standard. Nothing more, nothing less. This confusion isn't an accident. It's the result of one of the most successful marketing campaigns in corporate history, and it's been fooling consumers since 1988. The Society of the Plastics Industry, now called the Plastics Industry Association, working alongside the American Chemistry Council, created this resin identification code system specifically to help manufacturers sort different types of plastics during production. But they borrowed the recycling symbol's iconic chasing arrows design, and suddenly everyone assumed anything with those arrows could be recycled. The numbers tell a completely different story than what most people think. Let's decode what each RIC actually means. Number 1 is PET or PETE, which is polyethylene terephthalate. These are your basic water bottles and soda bottles. While these can technically be recycled, here's what the industry doesn't want you to know. They're designed for single use only. Reusing them can harbor bacteria, and the plastic may start leaching chemicals like antimony trioxide, a known carcinogenic compound. Even though PET bottles are among the most recyclable plastics, only about 30% actually get recycled in the United States. And when they break down, they create microplastics that contaminate our water systems. Number 2 is HDPE, high density polyethylene. Think milk jugs and detergent bottles. This is actually one of the safer plastics for food storage and has decent recycling rates. A 2018 study found that clean HDPE can be recycled up to 10 times. But here's the catch. Contamination from food residue or mixing with other plastics often ruins entire batches in municipal solid waste facilities. Number 3 is PVC, polyvinyl chloride. This stuff is nasty. It's used in pipes and construction materials, and you definitely don't want it anywhere near your food. PVC releases toxic phthalates during production and disposal, and it's virtually impossible to recycle safely through standard programs. Number 4 is LDPE, low-density polyethylene. These are your plastic bags and squeezable bottles. While technically recyclable, most municipal programs don't accept them because they jam sorting machinery. Those grocery store drop-off bins, recent tracker studies using Apple AirTags found that bags deposited there are more likely to end up in landfills than recycling facilities where they eventually degrade into microplastics. Number 5 is PP polypropylene. Yogurt cups, bottle caps, food containers. This is generally considered one of the safer plastics for food contact, but recycling rates are terrible because different grades of polypropylene can't be mixed together in the sorting process. Number 6 is PS polystyrene, foam cups, takeout containers, packaging peanuts. This stuff is an environmental nightmare. It breaks down into tiny microplastic particles that pollute waterways, and virtually no municipal recycling programs accept it, yet it still carries that misleading triangle symbol. Number 7 is labeled Other, and this is where things get really dangerous. This catch-all category includes polycarbonate containers that contain BPA, bisphenol A, a known endocrine disruptor. It's basically a grab bag of materials, and almost none of it is recyclable through normal channels. But wait, there's more. Those RIC numbers are just the beginning of the coded information hiding on your bottles. Look closer at the bottom of any plastic container, and you'll see sophisticated mold identification markings that most people never notice. Sometimes you'll find additional numbers outside the recycling triangle, small dots arranged in patterns, or raised bumps around the bottle's heel. These aren't random manufacturing defects, they're detailed tracking systems created through injection molding and blow molding processes that tell a complete story about when, where, and how that bottle was made. Those mold code markings serve multiple critical purposes in manufacturing. Some are mold identification codes. A marking like M23 means mold cavity 23 at that specific facility. In mass production facilities, companies use dozens or even hundreds of identical molds running simultaneously. If there's a quality control issue, maybe bottles from one production line are coming out with thin walls or structural defects, manufacturers need to trace the problem back to the specific mold that's causing trouble. Each mold gets its own number, and that number gets embossed onto every bottle it produces through the molding process. Other numbers are Julian calendar date codes. You might see something like 23120 embossed on the bottom, meaning the 120th day of 2023. Or you'll find lot numbers that combine dates with production line information, like L202304415A, indicating a batch made on April 15th, 2023 on production line A. Those little dots and bumps aren't decorative either. They're often arranged in specific patterns that encode additional manufacturing data. The position, number, and arrangement of these raised marks can tell quality control inspectors everything from the specific production shift to the temperature settings used during the molding process. Glass bottles use similar mold identification systems. You'll often see single digits from 1 to 9 embossed on the bottom, representing different molds in the production line. Some bottles have more complex numbering systems that served as catalog numbers, helping distributors identify specific bottle shapes and sizes. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. All of this sophisticated coding and tracking exists while the plastic industry has spent decades promoting recycling as the solution to plastic waste, even though they knew it would never work. Recent lawsuits have exposed internal industry documents showing that major oil companies understood as far back as the 1970s that plastic recycling was economically unfeasible on a large scale. A 1986 report from the Vinyl Institute stated bluntly that recycling cannot be considered a permanent solid waste solution, as it merely prolongs the time until an item is disposed of. Yet, companies continued promoting recycling. California Attorney General Rob Bonta, who filed a lawsuit against ExxonMobil in 2024, put it this way: the company has propped up sham solutions, manipulated the public, and lied to consumers. It's time ExxonMobil pays the price for its deceit. The numbers back up these concerns. Global plastic recycling rates have remained stuck below 10% for decades, despite massive public recycling campaigns. In the United States, the rate has actually dropped in recent years, from 9% in 2018 to just 5% today. Meanwhile, global plastic production hit 400 million tons in 2022 and is projected to double by 2060, creating even more microplastic pollution. Even when plastics do get collected for recycling, contamination ruins huge batches. The Recycling Partnership estimates that contamination costs the U.S. municipal solid waste recycling system at least $300 million annually. Food residue, mixing different plastic types, or including non-recyclable items in recycling bins can make entire truckloads of collected materials worthless. The confusion around those recycling symbols is so widespread that a 2019 Consumer Brands Association study found 68% of Americans assume any product with the resin code and triangle symbol is recyclable. Martin Bork from the Ecology Center explains the problem. When the plastic industry co-opted the recycling symbol to label their plastic resins, they began a decades-long misinformation campaign to convince Americans that all plastic packaging is recyclable. Nothing could be farther from the truth. But there's another layer to this deception that's just coming to light: the health implications of these coated plastics and their breakdown into microplastics. Take BPA, the endocrine disruptor, used in many number 7 carbonate plastics. For years, the industry insisted it was safe, but in 2023, the European Food Safety Authority published a reevaluation recommending a reduction in acceptable BPA exposure by 20,000 times compared to their previous assessment. Let that sink in. They found that what was considered safe was actually 20,000 times too high. The European Union responded by banning BPA in food contact materials entirely, effective January 2025. EU Commissioner Oliver Varhelyi stated that maintaining high food safety standards in the European Union and protecting citizens is one of the Commission's highest priorities. Today's ban, which is based on solid scientific advice, will protect our consumers against harmful chemicals where they can come into contact with their food and drink. Even the so-called BPA-free plastics aren't necessarily safer. Many use similar endocrine-disrupting chemicals like BPS and BPF that may pose similar risks. R. Thomas Solar, a professor emeritus at UMass Amherst, warns that some companies say their plastics are BPA-free, but they use another bisphenol. So use glass wherever possible. The industry's response to mounting criticism has been to double down on recycling messaging while quietly shifting responsibility to consumers. They've created new labeling systems, like the How to Recycle label, that appear more transparent but still overstate recyclability for many products under extended producer responsibility frameworks. Meanwhile, a wave of lawsuits is challenging these deceptive practices. Arizona sued Reynolds Consumer Products in 2025 over hefty bags marketed as recyclable. Philadelphia sued SC Johnson over Ziploc bags, and Bimbo Bakeries over bread bags. California is going after ExxonMobil for decades of misleading recycling claims. New York sued PepsiCo over single-use plastic pollution. These cases represent a turning point. California's new Truth in Labeling law, specifically California SB 343, requires companies to prove their recyclable claims with actual data. Products labeled as recyclable must show collection rates of 60% or higher and must actually be processed within the state. Most plastic bag manufacturers have failed to provide such evidence and are now under investigation. So what can you do with this information? First, ignore those resin identification code numbers when making environmental decisions. Focus on reduction and reuse instead. The safest plastics for food storage are numbers 2, 4, and 5. Avoid numbers 3, 6, and 7 for anything that comes in contact with food or drink. Number 1 bottles are fine for their intended single use but shouldn't be refilled due to antimony trioxide, leaching, and microplastic formation. What's really important is understanding that recycling was never designed to be the solution to plastic waste. It was designed to be an excuse for continued plastic production. The real solution is using less plastic in the first place to prevent microplastic contamination. The next time you pick up a plastic bottle and see those familiar chasing arrows around a number, remember this, you're not looking at a recycling symbol. You're looking at a Resin Identification Code, a 35-year-old corporate marketing strategy governed by ASTMD 7611 that convinced the world that an unsolvable problem had an easy solution. Those little mold codes tell the story of when and where that bottle was made, but they also tell the bigger story of how an entire industry built its growth on a lie. The numbers don't lie, but the people who put them there certainly did.
Make sure you subscribe.